And welcome back, guys. I missed you. It's wine time, and our next guest is more than a wine connoisseur. He calls himself a wine missionary.
He's penned 7 books, including his new one, Wine for Intellectuals, and he's here to tell us everything we need to know about wine. Welcome, certified wine educator, John Mahoney.
John.
I'm very pleased to be here, guys.
Honor to have you.
John, it seems that wine intimidates people. Is that what your new book is all about?
I wrote Wine for Intellectuals to say, not to be an intellectual to read it. Everybody should read it and become a wine intellectual. Take that intimidation away. Because as I say all the time, Eraldo, wine is food, it's the liquid part of the meal.
I like that.
My favorite part of the meal.
Isn't it the best part?
Yes, it is.
So tell us about some of the basics. Do you really need to know a lot about wine, really? Or what is it that...
Well, that's how the book is broken down into fundamental basics. If I can just pour Mark a little more here. In the first chapter, it talks about the 5 S's. And everything of importance is actually highlighted in the book to make it relatively easy. Right? And the 5 S's are simply sight. You want to look at a wine. Whereas you're holding a beer, you just hold a mug. You're not paying attention to the color. Or a cocktail, you're really not, assessing the shades of color. Wine, you want the color, so it's sight, swirl, smell, sip, and then savor. And you just got start any day with it.
Woo. Oh, yeah.
Right? A day without wine is like a day without sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
I think some other fruit product stole that title.
Wow.
This or chocolate. This actually would go well with chocolate.
This actually would. This is a Spanish Tempranillo. And in the book, I've talked about the 5 S's, and then I talk about matching wine and food.
Right.
Trying to take those fears away from people. In essence, in America, we've all learned, white wine with fish and red wine.
I've always been taught that way.
I was taught the same thing, but I found every place else in my travels, it's simply not that. It's the weight of the wine with the weight of food.
Okay.
Fish, for example, salmon or tuna has a higher fat content.
Correct.
So in my chapter called Bodies and Legs, the legs are the droplets. They determine the body of the wine. The heavier the body, the more weight, the bigger the weight of the food. So salmon or tuna, I drink red wines, Pinot Noirs, Tempranillo, Italian Dolcetto. Right? Light-weighted things, you want light white wines.
Right.
Chardonnay is kind of like a lost in the middle. It's the most popular drink in America, and I actually called the Chardonnay grape a red wine disguising itself as a white, because of the body, and you can do heavier things with it.
Right. So
I'm curious, value wines, and you just mentioned Chardonnays, which is probably America's most popular wine, but it's not a food-friendly wine.
No, it's not, and it's actually gotten more expensive. And of course, what happens in the wine world, as things become popular, the price tends to go up. And I have one whole chapter that talks about value, and it's a little trick I learned 30 years ago to take the ratings that you read about in the magazines and divide the price by the rating. And then you start to get a decimal. And if it comes out to be 1 or higher, you really don't want it. You want actually it to be a small decimal. For example, a $1,000 bottle of Screaming Eagle from California. People have heard about that wine. When you divide that, the number comes to be very high, 5, 6, 7. But when you taste a $500 bottle next to a $50 bottle of wine, you're always surprised at how closely they taste. I always say, experience the really expensive wines, Eraldo. Get 4 or 5 people together, throw in $50, and say, okay, we did the $500 bottle. But at the same time, drink a $20 bottle alongside.
Wow. I can sit here all day long and listen to this. I love wine. John, this is amazing. And before we head on out, I want to mention something we did at the top of the show. You had a product that you wanted to mention?
Yeah, we talked about Krilla for prostate, and this is for guys 50 plus, and for all of your listeners, and this is also for wives to give to their husbands. What you do is go to the website, you get a free bottle, just pay shipping and handling. It's really simple and easy. Shipping and handling is all you have to pay, a couple of bucks, and you get the bottle of Krilla for prostate.
There you go.
That I know is going to help you guys. It really will.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I wish you had more time. Salute,
Yeah,
everybody.
it's
great to-
Guys,
Great.
thanks to all my guests for being here, and a special thank you to my co-host, Mark. Thank you for being here. And thanks to all of you home for watching. Make sure you tune in next time for another great show. And remember, take care of your body today, and it will take care of you tomorrow. See you next time.